ask you something before we get started today. How many times have you started a new year believing this one would be different? You wrote down your goals, you set the resolutions, and you told yourself this year I'd show up stronger, I'd lead better, and I'd be more disciplined. Then you turned around and life happened. Why? Because life happens. That's what it does. And you didn't meet your resolutions and your goals, and not because you failed. And not because you didn't care, but because motivation does not survive pressure. The truth is, if nothing changes underneath, then nothing will change in the long term. New Year's resolutions don't fail because people are weak. They fail because people try to change outcomes without changing the standards, without changing the mindsets or changing the habits. Folks, leadership doesn't work on hopes and promises. It works on decisions. So today isn't about getting fired up for a moment. Today's about resetting what the normal looks like. Because before a team can rise, a leader has to raise the standard. And the first 30 days of this year will quietly decide the next 335 days. So let's have a little conversation about leading through those days with intent. So let's start here. If you walked into 2026 thinking this time it'll be different, you're not wrong. You're a human being. We all want to grow. We all want to be better. We all want change. Truth is, wanting change doesn't create it. Declaring change doesn't create it. And writing change down doesn't create it. Because, folks, resolutions don't change people. Leadership does, though. Every January, we make these promises. We get super motivated. We feel fired up. And for a moment, it feels real. It feels great. But guess what? The motivation fades. Life gets busy, the pressure builds. And if nothing underneath has changed, everything goes right back to the same old normal. And that's not failure at all. But unfortunately, that's reality. Real change doesn't come from emotion, it comes from standards, it comes from mindset, and it comes from habits. January is not about reinventing yourself, it's about deciding what you will no longer accept. Because before a team can rise, a leader has to reset what the normal looks like. And that starts with the standards. We all talk a lot about expectations in leadership. We communicate goals. We talk about what we want to see improve. But let me be very, very clear. Teams don't rise to expectations. They settle to the level of the standard you tolerate. Whatever you allow consistently becomes your team's normal. If energy drops and nothing is said, guess what? That's the standard you created. If follow through is inconsistent and it's ignored, guess what? That's your standard. If accountability only shows up when things are broken, that is the standard you've created. Not because you wanted it that way, but because silence always sends a message. Resetting the standard doesn't require being harsh. You don't have to be an asshole. It doesn't require being loud either, but it does require clarity and honesty. The courage to look at reality and say, this is where we are and this is where we are going. That's leadership. Now, let me tell you why the first 30 days matter so much. It's powerful because patterns are being set right now. Your team is watching you closely. They're paying attention to everything you do and everything you address, and they're paying attention to what you let slide. They're noticing if this year actually feels different or if it's the same old thing. Your habits are forming now. Their habits are forming now. Beliefs are forming now. And momentum is either being built or it's being lost. What you reinforce now becomes routine by March. And what you ignore right now, guess what? That becomes culture by summer. So this is not the time to wait. This is the time to lead. And guess what? This is what's challenging for a lot of leaders. They try to fix everything, the world all at once. But that's resolution thinking. It's well intentioned, but it overwhelms people and absolutely kills momentum. Leadership isn't about perfection. It's about movement. It's about momentum and is built through consistency, through showing up the same way on a slow freaking Tuesday as you do on a big Saturday, through addressing things early instead of letting frustrations pile up, through reinforcing behaviors you want to see until those behaviors become automatic. Small actions done daily, guess what? They always beat the big promises. This is why mindset and habits matter more than motivation. Habits don't care how you feel. Standards don't negotiate. They guide you when the pressure and is high and the energy is low. This is why resolutions fail. They depend on emotion. Leadership depends on identity. The strongest leaders don't wake up asking how they feel. They wake up knowing who they are. They've already decided how they show up. And there's another piece of this that matters more than people realize. What you speak shapes what people believe is possible. This isn't hype. This isn't pretending everything is perfect. This is intentional language. When leaders consistently speak growth, belief, and progress, even before the results show up, people start to rise into it. When leaders hesitate, hedge, or speak doubt, guess what? That spreads like a virus. Teams listen to what you repeat. If you speak belief, clarity, and direction long enough, it becomes reality. Words don't replace action, but they do prepare people to act. Strong leaders don't wait for success to speak confidently. They speak confidently while building towards success. You cannot reset the standard for your team, though, if you're not willing to reset it for yourself. Your energy sets the temperature, your consistency sets the pace. Your willingness to have those hard conversations early on and right away defines the culture you're building. People don't follow what you say, folks. They follow what you do repeatedly. So if you want a different year, don't write a better resolution. Reset the standard for how you show up. Reset the standard for how you communicate and reset the standard for what you tolerate. January does not define the year because it's a new month, a new year. It defines the year because it reveals what you are committed to becoming. Resolutions, they always fade. Let's be real. And I'm not trying to break anybody's heart here for this next year, but resolutions fade. But you know what? The standards you put in place for yourself and others, those endure. Motivation's great. Motivation is amazing. But motivation's kind of like a temporary high because it does disappear. But you know what? the habits you build, those will remain. So if you want 2026 to be different, you simply got to lead differently. Not next week and not next month, but starting right now. So let's go out there because I am just committed as much as everyone else out there to lead differently. So let's go out there and let's lead differently together starting right now, this very moment. We're going to go out there and make 2026 the best damn year we've ever had and our teams have ever had in so many different ways because we are going to put the standards in place. We are going to change the mindset. We are going to speak belief and clarity every day on the success that is coming because we are confident in that. And we're going to change the world, not just the workplace. We'll look forward to this year hanging out with you guys. And for now, Joe is out.